Welcome to the Dysfunction Junkies podcast. We may not have seen it all, but we've seen enough. And now, here are your hosts, Chrisy and Kerry.
Good morning, everybody. This is Kerry.
And this is Chrisy.
Oh, waking up on the morning as a kid on Saturdays. Saturday morning cartoons. If you ever wonder why we're screwed up, those of us in our 50s, it's because of the dysfunctional cartoons we were addicted to on Saturday mornings.
Yes.
Chrissy, go.
Well, because, I was sitting there watching them all. Yeah, they were wonderful and great, and we're going to talk about them, and we're going to bring up things that probably, I think, a lot of people have touched on this kind of stuff already, because it was pretty obvious, especially with how aware we're supposed to be about things now.
Right.
And that we try to be aware of for our kids.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the one I have a whole paragraph of notes for.
Chrissy was like having the time of her life doing notes for this one episode.
And I was really upset that I actually forgot a couple of characters, and I may have even forgotten some other ones again. But man, Bugs Bunny and the Roadrunner show.
Oh my gosh, that
was just packed full of
inappropriate humor when you look back at it,
The time period where these shows were being produced, I mean, I think Bugs Bunny, Warner Brothers type thing was probably started maybe in the late 30s, probably some of the earlier ones. So cartoons were, I think, when they were made back then, because of the way motion pictures were shown, they were sort of like things that were shown prior to movies or maybe during intermissions or something in the theaters. So there was a lot of adult humor to them.
A lot.
So the visuals and the fact that it was a cartoon appealed to children no matter what. But the real beauty of that, and I think there's been some shows that have tried to adopt that kind of thing too. I'll mention it briefly because I feel, in my opinion, it's like the best cartoon ever produced. And I know a lot of people are fans of The Simpsons and like Family Guy or whatever those ones are. And South Park, all of those are wonderful, but those are really straight adult humor type things. Not that kids can't watch and enjoy, but the one that I think appeals to adults and children is Phineas and Ferb. To me, is the ultimate cartoon ever. I didn't put the notes down.
I was going to say, I'm looking at my notes going, wait, how did we go from Bugs Bunny to Phineas and Ferb?
I'm definitely going to get back to Bugs Bunny, but I just threw a quick shout out to Phineas and Ferb because it does appeal to children and adults. There's a lot of adult humor in there as far as it references a lot of popular culture that adults would mainly get from our time period. I'm guessing that the two creators of that show are probably around our age, so
I have no idea what this show is. I'm like literally Googling it because I'm like, I don't recognize this. This was in our time as kids?
No, it's
recent.
A more recent, and they just came out with a new season. It's a Disney vehicle, and I do plan on talking about Disney stuff eventually.
But not so much today.
But I just want to, as far as the fact that they seem to have a recognition for cartoons that do appeal, that a child and an adult could sit down together and enjoy.
Okay.
Now,
I'm still trying to find them on here to look at the characters.
Oh, it's just, again, I'll talk more about that later, but just a quick shout out as far as that. Whereas I think that the people who make Phineas and Ferb, that is their intention, to appeal to adults as well as children. I think like the Warner Brothers thing.
Yeah.
It just seemed to work out that way for them.
Now I see the picture, so I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
all right, now I got it. Sorry.
But going back to the Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
One thing that I remember traumatized me horribly with Bugs Bunny. To the point where I would have to get up and leave because I wasn't going to shut my TV off because that's sacrilege. You don't shut a television off. But I would leave, or I didn't want to watch it. It was called What's Opera Doc, I believe was the title of the episode or whatever it was, segment. And it terrified me. It horrified me. It was awful.
I don't know that one.
It had a lot of classical pieces involved in it. And
What's it called again?
What's Opera Doc? OPERA. It's Elmer Fudd and Bugs Bunny. Nick, come, you were researching it.
It's based on a lot of Wagner's operas. So,
okay.
And it actually intermingles 2 or 3 of his different operas that he had done. So they used that as kind of a basis. It was from 1957. I think it was kind of a standalone thing originally. Maybe they tucked it in with Saturday morning cartoons, but it actually was its own.
Now
thing.
it's starting to ring a bell now. Now I'm starting to get it. So
yeah, to me, it like really flipped me out a little bit. There was always this thing with Bugs Bunny that sometimes, just for humor, Bugs Bunny would dress up as a girl.
Oh, now I know what you're talking about. Yes.
And Elmer Fudd was like a hunter a lot in his things. He was usually trying to kill either Daffy Duck or Bugs Bunny or something. And this just got really serious outside of the fact the music was really dramatic. Mm-hmm. And, it started out lighthearted. It was very operatic, I guess is what you would, as far as the like little, beats it took, because it was music inclined. But, and the fact that, I don't think I'm ruining this for anybody at this point. So, I mean, Elmer Fudd kills Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
Like in cartoons, this like was a totally upset because nobody ever really died.
Right.
Yeah, you drop stuff on them, they fell off buildings, they fell like a pancake on the ground. But then nobody ever died.
Right.
But
they
this
came back
literally
he killed them.
There's the end where Elmer Fudd regretted this and is carrying a lifeless Bugs Bunny at the end of the cartoon into like the sunset or whatever in his arms, and he's crying, I killed the rabbit, I killed the
rascally rabbit.
Yeah, it was just, and I hated it. I was like, oh my God, please, I can't handle this. I don't want to see. Now at the very end, I guess to try and keep it somewhat lighthearted, he does sort of, Bugs Bunny kind of wakes up and does talk to the, what do they call that? Breaking the fourth wall?
Yeah.
Which is weird. He says to the audience, it's opera or whatever. Did you expect a happy ending or something like that? For me, that didn't like fix me.
Yeah.
I was wasted by then. I was like, I was like cartoon wasted. I was like, I can't believe you killed Bugs Bunny. And like, you're thinking this is going to make it all okay. But so yeah, we had a cross-dressing rabbit once in a while, and not that there's anything wrong with that, but we just really didn't think of all the things that he was doing.
Right.
A lot of times, people have brought up that skunk.
Oh my God, Pepe Le Pew and the cat.
The cat has a name. Oh. Nick found out what it was.
The kitty cat has a name?
I have to look. I wrote it in my notes.
Penelope Pussycat.
Oh.
Yeah, so she actually had a name. I didn't know her name as a kid.
I jokingly reference this Pepe Le Pew and the cat. I joke about them a lot, but I love that one. But it's horrible. I mean,
well, what makes me mad about that is not so much, it was a cartoon. Right. It's that time period. Why is everybody, our kids, have we made our kids just so aware now? And I hate to downplay us, but were we that dopey where we were just like, he just really digs her, man. He's got her pinned to the wall and he's trying to kiss her. Who cares?
No, it's horrible.
But I guess it's like offensive. But, you're going to cancel this crap, again, we'll talk about Disney later, but I think with Disney, they put warnings on some of their old cartoon movies.
Right.
Because, and I do agree with that. I don't think that we should try to erase things.
Yes.
Because I think they're supposed to be there as something to sort of embark on a good conversation about where we were and where we've come so far. The other thing, and I don't know why I was thinking about it when we were looking at this Pepe Le Pew issue, was when everybody got up in arms about, because I have this type of music and you hear it at Christmas, the Dean Martin sang the one I'm thinking of, but there were other people saying it, which was the Baby It's Cold Outside.
Right.
Where he basically is trying to get the girl at his apartment to drink more so she'll stay longer.
Right.
And again, maybe we were just idiots, but when I heard that song, I wasn't thinking about anything more than, You just want to spend a little extra time with her.
Right.
You know.
Right. I know. But
Boy.
but that is a great comparison between the song and the Pepe Le Pew storyline there. That really is. That was a good connection of the two.
Yeah, I guess I get offended at the fact that we have to
That people are offended?
Well, yeah, your offensiveness, you being offended is offending me. I think it helps dialogue. It helps bring conversation.
Yeah.
It gives us an opportunity to talk about these things. And even if it's like you and I talking about it in a funny manner, are there people who need to maybe have this addressed to them a little bit more because maybe they have a hard time being able to separate what's right and wrong?
Right.
And I understand that, you know, some people are more vulnerable to having a hard time doing that. But, I mean, these are things we grew up with and we love. So, yeah, Pepe Le Pew.
Yes.
Wah, I'm sorry. I hated the Roadrunner and the Coyote dynamic. I hated whenever that came on. I was like, great, here's 10 minutes I'll never get back. I really wanted something better on. I know people love that part.
Yeah.
But I did not.
My dad loved the Roadrunner and the Wile E. Coyote. He loved that cartoon. So I think that I liked the cartoon because now looking back, I think it was just because that would be maybe a half hour that my dad would sit and watch cartoons with me.
Oh, really?
So I think it was more because my dad was sitting and watching cartoons with me than it really that I liked the cartoon. But I remember him laughing about like I could just sit here and hear him laughing as we were watching that. Mm-hmm. But I just love that it was predicting Amazon from way back in the day. Acme was like Amazon.
Oh.
It was immediate delivery of whatever they wanted. Whatever they wanted, whatever Wile E. Coyote needed to try to whatever, boom, it just instantly appeared. It's like Amazon.
It was like Amazon.
Yes.
I never thought of that. Jeez, man, you're right. Yeah.
If he needed explosive, Acme explosive.
Exactly. Yeah. Acme is the Amazon. Like if he needed whatever, whatever he needed, boom, it was immediate delivery. Boom, it was there.
I think there's something there.
I'm telling you.
No, I remember.
You should have Jeff Bezos in and ask him if that's where he got the inspiration from Amazon.
That would be true. Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but again, and I understand, like I said, that's awesome that you have that memory with that.
Yeah.
I remember my father, maybe just because of the type of media watcher he was of the time.
Yeah.
He liked cartoons. So Dad would watch cartoons.
Oh, he would watch with you?
Oh, yeah. In fact, I remember my mom saying that her mother had brought that up as maybe a small concern.
Oh, that was a beige flag or a red flag or whatever.
Well, my grandmother had mentioned that probably before I was born even, she had mentioned to my mother about her husband. She says, your husband actually likes to watch cartoons. And my grandmother must not have understood that there were people my father's age who would sit and watch cartoons still. So, but did you want to?
I got to go back to Pepe Le Pew because I in true to your fashion, I felt like you were normalizing what he had done with Penelope.
Oh, yeah.
What do you mean normalizing?
Well, I didn't feel like you were like...
It wasn't a big deal. Why are we offended that he's, molesting the cat?
I mean,
well, did he legitimately? I mean,
well, come on, he was.
Don't you remember?
Well, yeah, but okay. Well, he was a skunk. I don't understand what skunks are driven by. Maybe he couldn't help himself.
I would think most mammals are kind of driven all by that same thing.
Well, okay.
But at any rate,
all right, whatever. How they act on their drive, I don't know.
Well, when you were prepping for the show, you were more critical of Pepe Le Pew the other day than you are right now. Are you normalizing it?
I'm not trying to normalize, but I guess.
Boom.
I just want to say that because it just falls in line with that whole let's just cancel it, not mention it.
Yeah.
Try to shove it over here and act like it never happened.
And that would be my family's way of we're not going
to
talk about it.
Don't talk about Pepe Le Pew.
Pretend it never happened.
That never happened. Yeah. We're going to gaslight you.
Yes.
You're remembering that all wrong. That never. What do they call? There's a effect. What do they call that when?
Cancel culture?
No, there's like a actual thing I've seen online too where they call it. Is it the Mandela effect?
I'm vaguely
where
certain.
they're like, are you kidding me right now? They're trying to say that doesn't everybody remember this?
Yeah.
But now they're saying that never happened.
Yeah.
It's you can look it up, but I see that a lot. So, and then you had Tweety and Sylvester
And the old lady.
and that old lady.
I think Nick found it.
Oh,
You're so smart.
You're so smart,
again,
Chrissy.
I watch a lot of TV.
The Mandela effect is a social phenomenon where a group of people share false memories of specific details about an event, person, place, or situation.
Ooh.
Look at you.
Look at you.
Yeah. Wow.
It's the DSMR of Chrissy.
Oh, there she goes, using them big words again. Yeah, it's just, which I think is sort of like this weird, crazy science experiment on us to try and put us all together and make us believe one thing almost to control us.
Yeah.
In some weird way, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
there was so much violence in those cartoons.
a ton of violence.
A ton of violence.
And
And then now when you compare it to the things that kids are watching today, I mean, I'd rather have the Wile E. Coyote violence than some of the stuff they're watching today in the games or,
well, the
video
gaming
games and stuff.
is, and it's very realistic.
Yeah, right. But there was a lot. There was a lot.
Well, yeah, I mean, you
Let's
just
blow up, but they all came back to life. It's like you said, that was what was so tragic about the Doc Opera was that Bugs Bunny actually died.
Yeah,
and the other ones, the Roadrunner gets blown up, or no, not the Roadrunner. The Coyote ended up getting blown up how many times, but he still lived.
right.
So
Well,
all of his plans backfired.
Yeah, they always backfired, but. So yeah, this Sylvester the cat, the Tweety bird, the old lady, and I kind of liked Sylvester and Tweety's dynamic more than like Tom and Jerry's dynamic. Yeah. I guess because Sylvester wasn't as threatening, which doesn't speak a lot about his capabilities, as Tom seemed. I don't know why he just seemed more threatening to me. Yeah. And I mean, God, Yosemite Sam. Yeah. There was that Foghorn Leghorn, which that guy was totally just obnoxious.
Yeah. I love the whole, when they go to work, when they would go and they'd walk in and click the sheepdog leaving, and then the sheep, and they would hit the time clock.
Morning, Ralph.
Yeah, morning, Ralph. Morning, Sam. Yeah, exactly.
I remember that one. That was a good one.
That cracks me up.
Yeah, Bugs Bunny could be a whole show on its own.
Yeah.
Now, here's the other one, which I think is even worse than Bugs Bunny.
Yes.
What was up with the Smurfs? Why are we not addressing this issue?
I know.
There are all the Village of Guys. And there's sort of like the Seven Dwarfs thing where they all had these like weird titles like Grumpy and Smarty and I don't know what the hell. They had all these different names. But there was only one girl.
I know.
For all of those dudes.
I know.
Did you not look at Smurfette and think, whore? Sorry.
And
no, tease maybe, not a whole.
Yeah, right.
That was Smurfs After Dark.
Well, Nick, again, DJ Nick did some research because I just know that I remember there was one girl for everybody. And I do remember one specific episode, which offended me even then. Bugs Bunny doing all the things he did didn't stick with me as offensive. But they literally had an episode, unless this is the Mandela effect for me, that I remember where Papa Smurf was trying to court Smurfette.
Really?
And it just felt wrong to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, 10, 12? I don't know how old I was. And I was just like, this seems wrong. The guy is like, sorry, I don't mean to be an ageist, but dude is really old.
Like the Hugh Hefner in The Girls Next Door.
There's only one girl next door. Like Hugh Hefner with 3 or 4 blondes on his arm didn't offend me as much as this one blonde in Smurf Village.
Right.
But DJ Nick researched this, and here, Smurfette was a creation of Gargamel.
I never knew this. This is all
And
new.
this is what's offensive to me.
Okay, what?
When Gargamel created her, she had dark hair.
And why did Gargamel create her? Do we know why? Okay. Step into our office
Nick,
over here, DJ Nick, because you did the research on this.
So Gargamel created Smurfette to basically spy on the Smurfs to get information.
Oh yeah, let's create a woman to do that.
the look on Chrissy's face.
Go ahead. Keep going.
I wish this was a video.
I know, this would be great.
You didn't bring that up last night. Now I didn't know she was set to be a spy.
No, that's the reason that Gargamel created her, was for that reason, to spy on the Smurfs, because he could never figure out where they actually lived. He didn't know where the Smurf village was or whatever.
Yeah, he was always trying to score the directions.
But
to Smurf
at some point, Smurfette decided she liked like being part of the village, and
I bet.
And so her allegiance shifted, I'm supposing, from Gargamel to the Smurfs.
But did it really?
But Papa Smurf then did a spell to make her.
So did Papa Smurf know that she was a spy of Gargamel?
I don't think she knew. I don't think any of the Smurfs had known
so
that.
then why did he feel he had to do the spell? He didn't like the brunette?
Well, I think at some point,
yeah.
I'm guessing Smurfette must have came clean or something.
Right.
It's been.
When did she become clean?
But when he did put the spell on her to make her a quote unquote real Smurf.
Smurf.
That's when her hair suddenly turned blonde.
This is everybody
Tell me how
out
you feel
there.
about this, Chrissy.
This is wrong. Why is the brunette now, to be good, have to be blonde? What? Why? Because blondes have more fun. Maybe blondes won't question why they're the only girl in an all-man world. And what their duty is to be. I mean, I'm wondering, I'm going to take this down a really bad path. Was she just not going to question anything when she became blonde? And us sarcastic, snarky brunettes would be like, this seems wrong. I don't want to be stuck here with all of you dopey men, Smurfers, or whatever the hell you're called. Yeah, come on. The Smurfs, I know everybody loves them. But there's a really weird cartoon, Peyo.
It is.
Remember the name that came up to the creator?
That's the creator, Peyo, yeah.
What?
It's French.
What is he, a soccer player?
He's French.
Don't like soccer players usually have one name? Like Pele? Peyo. Created by... What's up with Peyo? We'll deal with him later. We can touch on some other stuff. Talk about some other cartoons, because you had brought up some good ones I didn't even think of.
I love the Jetsons. Meet the Jetsons. Oh my gosh, the Jetsons. But it was one of those very hard to find cartoons. So I don't know if it's because we only had, the antennas on the TV. So maybe we just didn't get the channel that the Jetsons were on. But I felt like that was like the unicorn of cartoons, that if the Jetsons happened to come on, it was like, oh my God, I can't get over. I love the Jetsons.
I think the theme song really brought that.
George Jetson.
Everybody loves that song.
Yeah.
I'm wondering.
Not much dysfunction with the Jetsons, though, for you guys. Not much content for you guys to talk about, though. That's the only problem with the Jetsons.
It just seemed like his wife spent a lot of his cash, and I'm not exactly sure what his dynamic was with his boss. But I can find dysfunction.
Come on,
in
Nick.
everything.
Chrissy's going to come through and find something for
I'm
us.
wondering, and
I stand corrected.
we would have to probably do a little bit of research. I wonder if the Jetsons initially, although we're on Saturdays eventually, but were they like the Flintstones, where they started out as a primetime cartoon?
Right.
And I'm wondering if they were the answer to, like, because the Flintstones was all prehistoric, like Stone Age type thing. And Jetsons was supposed to be futuristic.
Right. That's true. But the other one, though, and this one will give us a lot to talk about, it's Scooby-Doo.
Love Scooby-Doo.
I know.
Now, you're going to have to talk about it, because Scooby-Doo holds such a place in my heart.
Yeah.
I can't crap all over it. I just can't. I can't.
Well, my biggest take on Scooby-Doo was, it was just like... Okay, well, first of all, come on, Shaggy. You know that Shaggy was smoking pot behind the van. Come on. They may never have showed it, but come on, Shaggy. And then,
he always wanted a Scooby snack. He had the munchies.
Right.
They always had the munchies.
Yes. And they were the hippie living out of the van,
But you know what? It's legal now.
I know.
In Ohio.
Right. But here's my take on, I think because I loved Scooby-Doo so much, this is why I later loved Gilligan's Island. Now, I know Gilligan's Island is not a cartoon, but it's basically the adult version of Scooby-Doo. You've got these 7 random people that are together that would never be together in the same walks of life. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but with Scooby-Doo, they choose to be together. And Gilligan's Island, although why were all those people on the same flippin' boat tour?
I know, and the amount of things that the rich people brought on the boat, come on, that boat, it was
a 3-hour tour. I know, because I remember the theme song. Yeah, you're right. What were they doing?
But the boat couldn't have handled all that luggage. When you look at the boat, like, anyways.
I think
why
Mr. Howe was avoiding the IRS. I think he sabotaged that boat ride and he needed to be on an island. He obviously was avoiding something.
All right, Nick's got something.
You guys have moved too quick.
Sorry.
So the Jetsons did start, and it was Sunday night.
Oh, okay.
But it didn't fare well because it was up against Dennis the Menace and the Disney Wonderful
World of Disney.
Of
yeah.
Then it got moved to Saturday mornings for season 2. So you were right, Chris. It was kind of like it started out as an evening thing, much like the Flintstones.
And that probably explains why I didn't get to watch it much,
right?
Because I was not free access to the TV. So Saturday mornings I would get TV, and I would get a little bit when I got home from school. Remember we talked about one of the other episodes? You know, I was that latchkey kid, so I had like an hour and a half I could sneak in some TV time. But other than that, there wasn't much TV.
Yeah.
So,
but you guys weren't even born when it first run. I mean, when it was 1962 is when it started.
On
Sunday night. So, the Jetsons you guys watched unless they would do those special shows.
Right.
The original run occurred before you guys were even born.
There was a slot of shows on when we would come home from school.
Yeah.
That and Gilligan's Island was in that
That's
grouping.
right.
And so was Scooby-Doo.
Yep.
But probably things like the Jetsons, the Flintstones, I think. Yep. Those were sort of after school before, after the soap operas probably ended. But before the evening news came on. So like that 2-hour period probably between 4 and 6.
Right.
You had like kids could sit and...
It was right when the soap operas ended.
Yeah.
And before the news.
Yeah.
That was your window. So...
But...
All right, we got a few more to cover. So...
Real quick, some
Yogi
honorable
Berra.
mentions. Oh, my God. Okay. I don't know how to bring this one up, everybody, because I don't want to make anybody upset with me. But, I mean, I think we live in a time where we're supposed to be able to
talk about stuff.
Say whatever we want. So, what was up with Snagglepuss in the Yogi Bear grouping? According to Nick, he looked it up because I sort of had my own feelings about Snagglepuss and what his, demeanor or background was. Nick said that he had a definite definition to his.
No, he was, a finer things. I mean,
he enjoyed the finer things of life.
He had the collar and made a lot of Shakespearean references, and he was,
Into theater?
So would he have been, what's that called whenever, I'm trying to think of the term when a guy is like, you're going to have to edit my pauses out on this one while I think. When they're in touch with their feminine side and I can't think of the name. You have to edit out.
Well, and here's the thing. I think that he was into the finer things in life. That's all. And I think sometimes...
You can do what you want with this. Edit it out or what? Here's where I'm going. Would he have been part of the cast of Queer Eye for the Straight Guy? Or would he have been someone that Queer Eye for the Straight guys would have helped?
Yes.
So,
yes.
Would Snagglepuss be a cast member or a participant?
But you know what? So what?
I know. Oh, we don't care.
Well, no, we don't care.
We don't care.
We don't care.
But it's just funny because it's the way these cartoons were talking about things or bringing things up that were going on without talking about them.
He certainly was going to tell you every time he was leaving the room, exit stage, blah, blah, blah. Dude, and not everything is a stage. Why did he have to always go stage left, stage right? What was up that?
Because he had a performer's heart.
Dude, come on. Do you want to do the impersonation?
Come on, Nick. You're so good at impersonations.
One of his things was he would always say, "Heavens to Murgatroyd," and he would always add the word "even" after everything he said.
Like what?
Like he would say, I'm trying to think, but he would add the word "even," like to accentuate whatever he wanted to say, like. I would say, "My life is beautiful, even," is what he would say.
Got you now.
He would
Okay,
say even,
yeah.
Well, okay.
That was one I had actually not thought about until I read your notes and stuff.
But Yogi Bear was great. Always still in the picnic basket. Him and Boo Boo. That was sort of a weird relationship, but okay.
Okay, when you mentioned on here you had about the Three Stooges, that was my cue to turn the TV off.
The Jabberjaw?
The Three Stooges.
Oh.
So Jabberjaw, she may not even know who Jabberjaw is.
Jabberjaw is a flipping shark.
But he
Oh, I know who that is.
okay.
Yeah.
And he sounded like Curly from the Three Stooges.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And I
thought
know
you
there's
were...
a lot of Three Stooges fans out there. They have a ton of appreciation for it. I understand their importance. I was more of a Charlie Chaplin, Harold Lloyd, Grouch, the Marx Brothers type person. Not so much with the Stooges, and I didn't really care for Laurel and Hardy much. But
No, Three Stooges would come on. Like this would be more like a Sunday morning thing. When the Three Stooges would come on, that's when I exited stage left.
Me too. I did not care for that. So we had Speed Buggy, which was kind of fun. That was sort of the same voices that we got with Scooby-Doo, probably because it was made by the same people. Captain Caveman, who was always screaming. He looked like a hairball. And then the School of Rock stuff.
Yeah,
fantastic.
I did like that. That was great.
That was really good.
Schoolhouse Rock.
What did I call
School
it?
of Rock. Which was
not
still
the
good.
movie. Yeah, Jack Black. Thank you for School of Rock. No, Schoolhouse Rock.
Yeah, Schoolhouse Rock.
Awesome. Does anybody want to maybe touch real quick? I know we're running on time. You're going to have to edit this down. What was up the picture pages thing?
Picture pages, time to get your picture pages.
I always wanted to have that pen. Did you have a pen that talked or something?
Yeah.
It would make a sound. Yeah.
I'd sing that Picture Pages song all the time.
Do we not realize to what level, I'm going to say the name, Bill Cosby had himself embedded in our lives?
I
our
know.
generation especially.
I know.
Dude,
it's
you
hard.
totally disappointed.
I know. I know.
You let a whole generation down. All right, no more of that.
Okay.
The other thing I was going to bring up real quick, and I made notes on it, was, we didn't like Pink Panther.
No.
Pink
No
Panther
to Pink
was
Panther.
out. Rocky and Bullwinkle. I used to get mad when that had to come on. Did not find that funny at all. That was a pretty old one, too, but it still showed up. Sid and Marty Krofft stuff.
I don't know what that is.
Now, if you want to talk about Scooby-Doo, and maybe they were having fun with the ganj or whatever the hell they were smoking. Sid and Marty Krofft is notorious for that. They had that one thing.
H&R Puffin stuff. I mean, go.
H&R Puffin stuff. But your Land of the Lost, although was that Sid and Marty Krofft also?
Land of the Lost.
It was the same time period. I don't know if Sid and Marty Krofft had anything to do with Land of the Lost, though.
Talk about... Watch.
This is stuff like right as you guys were born. It's early 70s, so.
Yeah. But
He says this as if he's like, so much age difference in us. You're the same age, Nick.
Yeah, he's the same. Yeah, Sid and Marty Krofft, Land of the Lost. Awesome.
Yes. I loved also He-Man.
Yeah.
I was totally into the He-Man. And Cringer, the Battle Cat.
I remember the Super Friends, and I know He-Man was on. The other thing is with this one sitting next to me here, this DJ Nick thing, he loves Transformer crap.
Oh, yeah.
And they actually had to make a whole, what do they call that? When they make these movies, and they're like, many installments in, like, they're like a whole franchise.
Yeah.
He likes to listen to that crap real loud. The movie, that horrible noise. I hate it.
When they transform, I love when they transform. Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah, I get so angry. And he's like, it reminds me of my childhood. I'm like, that's really too bad.
Because of the cartoon. I watched the cartoons.
Okay, so one other last cartoon on my notes was Popeye. What's your take on Popeye and olive oil? Popeye the Sailor Man.
It made me try spinach out of a can.
Did it really?
Yeah, oh yeah. Because I was like, geez, it does so much for you. And you know me with my whole affinity for dieting.
I was just going to say.
I was like, wow.
Where was the Popeye diet?
Let me tell you what, spinach in a can. Oh, it's awful. It's so wrong.
Did you
so
have it with
bad.
ice cream?
No, maybe I should have. That might have made it better. But no, I wasn't really big on the whole Popeye thing. It was kind of... But there's people who love it, and it's very recognized. You see that sailor in the song, of course. But yeah,
this was a good lighthearted down memory lane to give you something to think about. Maybe where some of our dysfunctions come from these days.
Starting out them cartoons and eating that sugary stuff called cereal in front of the television. Yeah, absolutely.
So what we want to know is what your favorite cartoons were. So make sure to find us on our Facebook page and pop in on there and tell us what your favorite cartoon was or what cartoons traumatized you.
Yes, please.
What's your take on the Smurfs? We want to know that. So,
and we will be coming in with the Disney. You're not off the hook.
Oh yeah,
we're going to do one about Disney, and I didn't talk about it because it wasn't Saturday morning, but there was some bad Charlie Brown stuff too.
Oh,
as much as I love Charlie Brown,
yes,
there's some traumatizing stuff there.
Yes.
We'll get into that in the future.
And we're also going to get into in the future, we touched a little bit like on Gilligan's Island, but we're going to talk about some of those shows in the 80s. You know, I know Chrissy's got a lot to say about the Love Boat.
Yeah. How come we had Love Boat and then was Fantasy Island on after that?
Fantasy Island, Love Boat.
What were you trying to tell
The
us?
Muppets, Gilligan's Island, and all that jazz.
Yeah, lovely.
All right. Well, be sure to check us out on our Facebook page. Also, go to our new website, dysfunctionjunkiespodcast.com. And don't forget, in the month of September, we are supporting Canine Companions. We are raising awareness for this wonderful organization. We're also raising funds. So we have a link where you can donate to Canine Companions. We will be at the Canine Companions Dog Fest on September 21st in New Albany, Ohio. So if you want to see us face to face and meet us, please come out. We would love to see you and teach you a little bit about Canine Companions.
Yes, please. Please donate. Wonderful organization.
All right, everybody. Have a wonderful week. Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.